Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome to my 14 lectures. In this lecture, we will discuss about the different intravenous and induction agents. So, in previous lecture, I have already told you about the different type of anesthetic agents. So, it may be general anesthetic agent and local anesthetic agents. So, which are used in the variety of conditions. So today our topic is intravenous induction agents. So what are IV induction agents or drugs? These are those drugs when they are given intravenously in an appropriate dose, it causes a rapid loss of consciousness. One arm brain circulation times. Actually, the IV induction drug is usually they are given in the form of injections intravenously in an appropriate dose and a suitable dose which cause a rapid loss of consciousness. They are used to induce the anesthesia prior to other drugs being given to maintain the anesthesia. Is the sole drug for short procedure to maintain the anesthesia for longer procedure by intravenous infusion to provide sedations. So these are the purpose, these are the use of IV induction drugs. What are the ideal properties? The ideal IV induction drugs. What are the ideal properties, physical properties of the intravenous induction drugs? So the physical property of ideal IV induction drug is, so the drug, it must be water soluble and stable in solution. It can be easily excreted from the body. The second one is it should be stable on the exposure to the sunlight, and it has long shelf life. No pain on intravenous injection, no irritant when injected subcutaneously, low incidence of thrombophlebitis, inflammation of vein and artery, and it should be cheap economically. Now come toward the pharmacokinetic properties of IV induction drugs or agents. So the pharmaco and pharmacokinetics, we are studying about these intravenous agents, that how this drug will be absorbed, metabolized, and it can be transferred from one part of the body to another, and how it can be eliminated or excreted from the body. So actually these drugs or these agent, it has rapid onset and one arm brain circulation time. It is rapid redistribution to vessel rich tissue. It has rapid clearance in metabolism, and there is no active metabolite. So these are the pharmacokinetic properties of IV induction drugs. And pharmacodynamic properties, it is high therapeutic range or therapeutic ratio, or you can say therapeutic index. So the minimal cardiovascular and respiratory effects, no histamine release and hypersensitivity reactions occurs, and there is no emetic effects, no involuntary movements, no emergency nightmares, and no hangover effect, and no adrenocortical cortical suppressions, and safe to use in poor areas. Now these are the different type of drugs, as we know, that which are used especially during anesthetic conditions. So look at here, these drugs can be classified into different categories: barbiturates, propofol, ketamine, etomidate, and benzodiazepine, and opioids. So as you have remembered in my previous lecture, I have already discussed briefly that how these drug can act upon on the central nervous system, and what are the changes which occurs when they are administered to the patient. Now come toward barbiturates are called barbituric acids. For example, barbiturates, these are the drugs which come under the category of barbiturates: thiopentals, thymalols, pentobarbitals, secobarbital, and methotrexate. So it come under the category of barbiturates. So the mode of action or mechanism of action are barbiturates. It can directly depress the reticular activating and suppress the transmission of the excitatory neurotransmitters acetylcholine. So as we know that acetylcholine, this is the neurotransmitters which is normally released from the brains. So in order to minimize and maintains the concentration of acetylcholine, these barbiturates, when these barbiturates they are administered, it may be in the form of in the form of injection intravenously, so it can directly suppress the transmission of the excitatory neurotransmitter which are called acetylcholine. And secondly, this barbiturates it enhance or increase the transmission of inhibitory neurotransmitter which are called GABAergic receptor. As I have already told you that most of the barbiturates and most of the general anesthetic agents are these anesthetic agents, they can directly act upon on the GABAergic receptors. GABA mean gamma aminobutyric acids. Barbiturates, structurally the barbiturates, these are also called barbituric acid derivatives, and barbiturates are pale yellow colored powders. They are kept in the environment of nitrogen. The sodium salts of barbiturates, they are water soluble. The pH of barbiturates is 2.5%, that is thiopentals. pH of 2.5%, thiopental 10.5%. The shelf life is you can say already 2 weeks to 2.5% thiopental solution. Now this is the pharmacokinetic profile of barbiturates. So in pharmacokinetics, it means barbiturate, they are highly bounded, they are highly protein bound, almost 80% they are highly protein bound. The duration of action of it's determined by the redistribution, not metabolism or elimination. The maximal brain uptake within 30 seconds, and you can say the subsequent redistribution to the peripheral lower plasma and brain concentration to 10% of the peak levels within 20 to 30 minutes. The pharmacokinetic profile correlates with clinical experience. Patient typically lose consciousness with 30 seconds and then awakens within 20 minutes. Now come toward biotransformation. So in biotransformation mean that barbiturates, they are hepatic oxidations can be, as we know that most of the drugs, so they are biotransforms. So hepatic oxidation to the inactive water soluble metabolites mean that hepatic oxidation is occurs and then it become converted to inactive water solubilized metabolites. And how these barbiturates can be excreted from your body? So how it can be excreted through renal excretion can be done with the help of kidney. So you can say it is important for less protein bound and less lipid soluble agents such as phenobarbital, water soluble end product of hepatic biotransformations. Now this is the main point. Now come toward the routes and dose, that how there are different type of agents and you can say IV induction agents, they are available. And now so we will discuss about the different routes of administration and its doses. Now look at here, these are the agents, the uses, routes of administration, the concentration and dose milligram per kg. So thiopentals are thymalols. As we know that thiopental, this is IV induction agents, so it can be given uses. It can be it can cause inductions. It can be administered through IV route at the concentration of 2.5%, and its dose is almost 3 to 6 milligram per kg body weight. This is thiopental and thimalol. So it cause already it can also cause sedations. It can be also administered through IV route 2.5%. This is the concentration. Quantity and its doses 0.5 to 1.5 milligram per kg body weight. Methohexital. So this is another IV inductions, you can say in its local general anesthetic agents. Methohexital can be administered through IV route and it can cause induction. So it can be given at the concentration of 1% and it's a normal, its dose is 1 to 2 milligram per kg body weight. It will also cause sedations if it can be administered by IV routes. So it can be administered by IV route at a concentration of 1% and its dose is 0.2 to 0.4% milligram per kg body weight. Further, methohexital, it causes inductions if they are administered through rectal routes. So rectal, especially in pediatrics, especially in children, at the concentration of 10%. Its normal dose is 25 milligram per kg body weight. Another one is secobarbitals or pentobarbital or penobarbital. These are pre-medication. It come under the category of pre-medication. Actually, these drugs are given to the patient as a pre-anesthetic medication before administration of anesthesia in order to cause sedations and many more conditions like. So it can be given in oral forms at the concentration of 5%, almost 2 to 4. So this is the normal dose which is already given here. So this is orally available. Secobarbital and pentobarbitals, it can be given through IM route and rectal suppositories, and these are the doses which are given here. So 2 to 4 raised to power 2 to 4 raised to power 3 and then 3. So I mean this is the normally dose which is recommended for the patients. Now these are the effects on the organ system. What are the different effects produced by barbiturates on the organ system? The first one is cardiovascular effects. So whenever barbiturates they are administered to the patient, so it can directly fall, it may cause hypotension, low blood pressure, elevation in heart rate. So fall in blood pressure. On respiratory system, it causes ventilated response to the hypercapnia and hypoxia, decrease the concentration of oxygen. Tidal volume may be decreased, respiratory rate is decreased, and bronchospasm in asthmatic patient or laryngospasm is lightly anesthetized patients. Barbiturates do not completely depress noxious airway reflexes and the release of histamines. Barbiturates, it also causes cerebral's blood flow. So the cerebral blood flow, it become decreased, intracranial pressure decrease, while the cerebral perfusion pressure increase, and CPP equal to cerebral perfusion pressure, cerebral artery pressure minus, you can say, cerebral venous pressure or the intracranial pressure. Cerebral oxygen consumption, so it become decreased, and this effect of barbiturates may protect the brain from transient episode of focal ischemia like cerebral embolism, but probably not from the global ischemia like cardiac arrest. To have an anti-analgesic effect by lowering the pain threshold, do not produce muscle relaxations. Barbiturates, renal especially, they're also responsible. It also causes to reduce the renal blood flow and glomerular filtration rate in proportion to the fall in blood pressure, while especially in hepatics blood flow is decreased after administration of barbiturates. So the induction of hepatic enzyme increase the rate of metabolism of some drugs. You know that the induction of aminoleucinic acid synthetase is the name of the enzyme which stimulates the formation of porphyrin. Porphyrin is an intermediary, is a hemosynthesis product which may precipitate acute intermittent porphyria or variegates the porphyrin susceptible individuals. Immunological, sulfur containing thiobarbiturates evoke mast cell histamine release in vitro, whereas oxybarbiturates do not. Specific complications after administration of barbiturates: intra-arterial injections. So in case of intra-arterial injection, immediate or intense vasoconstriction and excruciating pain that radiate along the distribution of the artery. Especially severe vasoconstriction may obscure distal arterial pulses. Gangrene and permanent nerve damage may be occurs. So this is the mechanism of damage of barbiturates. So due to the precipitation of the thiopentyl crystal, inflammatory response and arthritis and micro immobilizations that follows eventually result in the occlusions or blockage of the distal circulation. Simple the treatment is immediate attempt to dilute the drug. We should dilute the drug and injection of salines. Prevention of arterial spasm and sustain adequate blood flow occurs. So lidocaine, piperines, or you can say penoxybenzamine, and stellate ganglion block or brachial plexus block can occurs. Now another agent that is called propofol. So as we know that propofol actually it contains 2 to 6 isopropyl phenol. So this is the chemical name of the propofol. Propofol, it is not water soluble drug. 1% solution 10 milligram 4 mls in oil and waters type of emulsion, so they are available at containing soybean oil. इसके अलावा इसमें ग्लाइसरीन है, एग्लिसिटीन है. इसका जो मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन है या प्रोपोफॉल का जो मोड ऑफ एक्शन है, ये क्या करता है? सो मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन इज एट कॉज फैसिलिटेशन ऑफ इनहिबिटरी न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर मेडिएटेड बाय द गाबा. जिस तरह मैंने आपको कहा कि जितने भी ड्रग्स हम यूज़ करते हैं, स्पेशली चाहे वो सेडेटिव हिप्नोटिक्स है या स्पेशली जो हम एनेस्थेटिक पर्पस के लिए हम यूज़ करते हैं, या जो डाइज़ापाम का मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया था, तो ये जितने भी ड्रग्स है उस उनका जो टारगेट एरिया होता है, दे कैन डायरेक्टली बाइंड विद द गाबा रिसेप्टर्स, गामा इम्यूनो ब्यूटारिक एसिड्स. जिस तरह मैंने डाइज़ापाम का मैकेनिज्म आपके साथ मैंने डिस्कस किया था. सो द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन इज कॉल्ड facilitation of inhibitory neurotransmitter mediated by the GABA receptors. Now this is the pharmacokinetic profile. Pharmacokinetic profile को अगर देखा जाए प्रोपोफॉल में, तो इसका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किस तरह होता है, ठीक है. इट मीन ये हाई लिपिड सॉल्युबल ड्रग है. प्रोपोफॉल जो है ये हाई लिपिड सॉल्युबल ड्रग है. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि दोज ड्रग विच आर लिपिड सॉल्युबल, सो इट विल ईजिली क्रॉस द ब्लड ब्रेन बैरियर. वो ड्रग जो लिपिड सॉल्युबल हो तो वो आपके ब्लड ब्रेन बैरियर को ईजिली वो क्रॉस करेगा. इसके अलावा मैं ये कहूँगा कि ऑनसेट ऑफ एक्शन दैट इज़ ऑलमोस्ट एज रैपिड इज दैट ऑफ थायोपेंटल. इसका ऑनसेट ऑफ एक्शन जो बिल्कुल थायोपेंटल की तरह है. थायोपेंटल सोडियम 1 आर्म टू द ब्रेन सर्कुलेशन टाइम अवेकनिंग फ्रॉम ए सिंगल बोलस डोज इज आल्सो रैपिड ड्यू टू वेरी शॉर्ट इनिशियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, हाफ लाइफ 2 to 8 minutes. ये तो मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी पहले बताया कि हाफ लाइफ क्या होता है, ठीक है. हाफ लाइफ में मैंने आपको ये कहा था कि इट इज़ the time which is required for a drug to achieve the peak plasma concentration to be reduced 50% half of its original concentration. For example, अगर 100 मिलीग्राम है तो 100 मिलीग्राम वो concentration आफ्टर सम टाइम जो है किसी खास वक्त में, वो मतलब 50 मिनट्स वो 50% तक आएगा. So for example, if the half life is 2 to 8 minutes, so it means that in this time period the drug half life will be decreased. The recovery is rapid and hangover is less. This makes it a good agent for the output anesthesia. Biotransformation किस तरह होता है प्रोपोफॉल का? तो बायोट्रांसफॉर्मेशन में मैं ये कहूँगा इट इज़ हेपेटिक एंड एक्स्ट्रा हेपेटिक मेटाबॉलिज्म. सो एज वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड दैट द लिवर इज द मेजर organ responsible for the metabolism. Excretion किस तरह होता है? Primarily excreted in the urines, and chronic renal failure doesn't affect the clearance of the parent drug. अब वो कौन कौन से ऑर्गन है जिस पे प्रोपोफॉल उसको इफेक्ट करता है, ठीक है. स्पेशली इफेक्ट ऑन द, वो कौन से ऑर्गन है जिस पे प्रोपोफॉल के अपने इफेक्ट्स है, वो कौन कौन से? तो कार्डियोवास्कुलर सिस्टम पे क्या इफेक्ट है? ब्लड प्रेशर डिक्रीज ड्यू टू स्पेशली फॉल एंड सिस्टमिक वास्कुलर रेजिस्टेंस, सो इट बिकम डिक्रीज. सो हाइपोटेंशन इज मोर प्रोनाउंस्ड देन विद थायोपेंटल्स. सो इट मीन द थायोपेंटल्स को अगर हम इंजेक्ट कर ले तो थायोपेंटल की वजह से हाइपोटेंशन काज होता है देन विद थायोपेंटल्स. इसके अलावा जो है यू कैन से HR नो चेंज और ब्रेडिकार्डिया, रिस्पायरेटरी एंड रिस्पायरेटरी प्रोफाउंड रिस्पायरेटरी डिप्रेशंस फॉलोइंग induction dose. Apnea may be occur, difficulty in respiration, inhibit the hypoxic ventilatory drive and depress the normal response to the hypercarbia. So as we know that sometimes the carbonic acid concentration is also elevated. The depression of upper airway reflexes occur, helpful during the intubation or laryngeal mask placement in the absence of paralysis. Lower incidence of wheezing and safe in asthmatic patient. ये drug जो है propofol which is available in a market by trade name Fofol, so it is safe in asthmatic patient. ये asthmatic patient में safe है. अब प्रोपोफॉल की तरफ मैं जाऊंगा. प्रोपोफॉल सेरेब्रल ब्लड फ्लो डिक्रीज, ये सेरेब्रल ब्लड फ्लो को डिक्रीज करता है. इसके अलावा इंट्राक्रैनियल प्रेशर को भी डिक्रीज करता है. एंटी एमेटिक इफेक्ट इसका ये है कि ये प्री प्रेफर्ड ड्रग फॉर द आउट पेशेंट एनेस्थीसिया. एंटी कन्वल्सन प्रॉपर्टी, सो फॉर एग्जांपल बर्ड सप्रेशन यूज टू टर्मिनेट द स्टेटस एपिलेप्टिकस एंड सेफ्टी एडमिनिस्टर्ड टू द एपिलेप्टिक पेशेंट्स. जो मिर्गी के जो पेशेंट होते हैं स्पेशली उसके लिए हम प्रेफर करते हैं, दैट इज सेफ. इंट्राऑकुलर प्रेशर्स वो भी डिक्रीज होता है, ठीक है. प्रोपोफॉल यूजेस इंडक्शन ऑफ एनेस्थीसिया, सो दे आर यूज्ड इन द मैनेजमेंट एंड ट्रीटमेंट्स ड्यूरिंग एनेस्थीसिया. सो इट कॉज इंडक्शन, इट प्रोड्यूस एनेस्थीसिया एट द डोज ऑफ 1.5 to 2.5 milligram per kg Body weight. Intravenously, this propofol is injected, so it will cause sedation at 25 to 100 microgram per kg per minute IV. Maintenance of anesthesia is 100 to 300 microgram per kg per minute IV. Non-hypnotic therapeutic application is antiemetic effect, much unknown, so 10 to 15 milligram IV. Anticonvulsant activity, इसमें anticonvulsant activity भी है, मतलब जो epileptic patient होते हैं उसको भी आप administer कर सकते हैं. Attenuation of the bronchoconstriction will also cause attenuation of bronchoconstrictions. इसके अलावा प्रोपोफॉल जो है स्पेसिफिक कॉम्प्लिकेशन है कि लैक्टिक एसिडोसिस और प्रोपोफॉल इन्फ्यूजन सिंड्रोम. सो प्रोलॉन्ग हाई डोज इन्फ्यूजन ऑफ प्रोपोफॉल that is greater than 75 microgram per kg per minutes for longer than 24 hours. Mechanism is unclear, but you can say cytopathic hypoxia of the electron transport chain and impaired oxidation of long chain fatty acids occurred. So CF, you can say unexpected tachycardia maybe occurs. So as well as the diagnosis, arterial blood gases and serum lactate concentration may be elevated. The simple treatment is metabolic acidosis in the early stages is reversible with discontinuation of propofol administrations. Phenon injection, most common, reduced by 1% lidocaine. So lidocaine can be injected in a combination with propofol, so the pain sensation will be reduced. And potent short-acting opioid, for example, fentanyl. So I have already discussed in my previous lectures. Propofol's bacterial growth. So this thing is related to microbiology, but I would like to say bacterial it support the growth of Escherichia coli and Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Recommendations in aseptic technique be used in the handling propofol is reflected by disinfecting the ampule neck surface or vial rubber stopper with 70% isopropyl alcohol. The content of the ampule containing propofol should be withdrawn into the sterile syringe immediately after opening and administering promptly. And the content of an opened ampule must be discarded if they are not used within 6 hours in the ICU. The tubings and the unused portion of propofol, so it must be also discarded and injected to the patient. Ketamine, this is another IV intravenous induction agent. So its mechanism of action or mode of action is very simple. So it can directly act on N-methyl D-aspartate receptors. What are receptors? Receptors, these are simple macromolecules which are proteinaceous in nature, and these receptor actually these are the drug binding. These are the, you can say, the macromolecule, and with the drugs are directly bind with it. So the simple mechanism of ketamine can directly bind with N-methyl D-aspartate receptor antagonist. So drug may be agonist or antagonist. It produces dissociative anesthesia. So the structure, its structure's activity is structure analog of pencyclidine. Its activity is just like pencyclidine. And pharmacokinetic, ketamine, there intravenously or intramuscularly, it can be quickly absorbed. The peak plasma level, they are usually achieved within 10 to 15 minutes after intramuscular injection. So it will start its onset of action pharmacologically after 10 to 15 minutes. Its distribution, ketamine is more lipid soluble. So when it is lipid soluble, so it means that it can easily cross the blood-brain barrier. So but the drug must be water soluble. It can be excreted from the body, and they are less protein bound than the thiophantal. Its half-life is 10 to 15 minutes. It should be memorized that the half-life of the ketamine is 10 to 15 minutes. Awakening is due to redistribution to the peripheral compartment.